This is Channels Television. We now bring you a live coverage of the foundation laying ceremony of the University of Port Harcourt Convocation Arena.
SSRS, former Deputy Governor of Rivers State. Distinguished Senator Andrew Chendu, Pro-Chancellor, University of Port Harcourt. Distinguished Senators and members of the National and State Assembly, the Right Honorable Austin Opara OFR, DSSRS, former Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, members of the State Executive Council, Your Majesty, King Dr. Danderson Douglas Jaja JP, JK5, Amayarabo Popo, Chairman, River State Council of Traditional Rulers, Chief Ferdinand Alabrabra, Chairman, Elders Council of the People's Democratic Party, River State, and other elder statesmen here present, Professor Stephen A. Okodudu, Acting Vice Chancellor, University of Port Harcourt, Special Advisors, Permanent Secretaries, Chairman of Biafra Local Government Area, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the foundation laying ceremony of the University of Port Harcourt Convocation Arena to be constructed by the government of Rivers State. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point, may I respectfully invite to give the welcome remarks the Acting Vice Chancellor, University of Port Harcourt, Professor Stephen A. Okodudu.
Your Excellency, Chief Barrister Ezewon Nyesom Wike, CON, GSSRS, POS Africa, Your Excellency, Dr. Mrs. Ipalibo Harry, GSSRS, members of the River State Executive Council here present, the Chairman of the University Governing Council, distinguished Senator Andrew Chendu, members of the University Council, present and past Vice Chancellors of our university, Your Royal Highnesses, my Lord spiritual and temporal, distinguished academics and administrators of the university, other invited guests, students of the University of Port Harcourt, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Governing Council, students and staff of the University of Port Harcourt, it is my pleasure to welcome His Excellency home to his university. Today marks yet another milestone in our short and challenging stint sitting in the saddle of the affairs of this university as the acting Vice Chancellor. Your Excellency, permit me to recapitulate on the content of the address I delivered to you on the courtesy call in August 2020, when I came to inform you of my appointment and assumption of duty as the acting Vice Chancellor of this university. I did inform you then, sir, that the mandate given to me by the federal government was to restore intellectual decorum to the University of Port Harcourt. Your Excellency, I believe you recall that I took that opportunity to remind you of your promise to build an ultra-modern edifice to house convocation ceremonies of our alma mater. I also, sir, drew your attention to the uncompleted primary school building, which was started by the Rivers State government. Your Excellency's response was, quote, "I will certainly fulfill my promise, acting Vice Chancellor. My word is my bond." Very soon, the contractor will be mobilized and the construction work will commence. End of quote. I held to that promise, and I'm glad that you have kept it today. We are here this morning to witness the turning of the sword ceremony of what promises to be one of the iconic structures in the university, an ultra-modern convocation arena by your good self. Your Excellency, you can imagine the joy that is radiating around the university. I therefore, on behalf of Council, Senate staff and students, heartily welcome you home to this epoch-making activity. Although, Your Excellency, I recognize that this is a federal university, but we do not live in isolation from the Rivers State government. The Rivers State government, under your administration, has always identified with the ideals and aspirations of this university. You have continued to support us and the successful administration through the donations of funds and provisions of social infrastructure to give meaning to lives of staff and students. As if it's not enough, you are launching this 9,000 modern convocation facility today. Your Excellency, I do not intend to bore you with a long address, but permit me to say that it's often said, when you have the opportunity of climbing an Iroko tree, you pluck as much firewood as you can. Your Excellency will kindly recall my report during my courtesy visit to you when I assumed duties, when the chaotic traffic situation at this West Road Junction is becoming unbearable. We're drawing the attention of Your Excellency to kindly help us do something about that. Finally, sir, I wish to draw attention to the overwhelming need to complete the abandoned primary school project which the Rivers State government commenced some time ago. The abandoned state of the project is not only posing an aesthetic embarrassment to the university now, but it's now a haven for criminally minded elements who use it in the night to perpetrate all manners of nefarious activities. The recently established University of Port Harcourt Women Upper Secondary School enthusiastically look forward to use the building when completed and handed over. So, sir, au revoir, au revoir. So, sir, the women of this university have asked me to request your urgent assistance to help them complete this project. Well, thank you, sir, for the development efforts to the University of Port Harcourt, your alma mater. We anxiously look forward to the day we shall welcome you back again to commission this project. Thank you very much for the attention.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to thrill us with their performance, may I invite the UNIPORT Performing Arts Company.
Good morning. Morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, it's indeed my pleasure to stand before you. Please allow me to stand on all existing protocol. I'm a trained level law student in the University of Port Harcourt, and it gladdens me to state clearly that I am here because of His Excellency. It is well known to us the role he played in ensuring that the Faculty of Law comes to the University of Port Harcourt. So for that, Your Excellency, I am indeed grateful. Thank you very much. Sir, you are one person that I am sure that loves students. And as a result of that, we are here gathered for another developmental stride for the sake of Rivers State students and Nigerian students, because this is a federal university. So Your Excellency, I'm going to cut this brief so that we would see what we as a student, coincidentally today is our cultural day. That's why we are dressed in this beautiful attire. So you see a bit of what we have to offer to you, Your Excellency, and on the conclusion of that, our own token as a union to you will be given in the form of an award. So Your Excellency, I urge that and the audience that we pay attention, and as we see a display by a block of the Rivers House. Thank you very much.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I now invite the Image.com Global Theatre to present a playlet written and directed by Dr. Ovundai Homo.
Good morning. I get newspaper different time where they say Daily Sun day, Punch day, the Tide day. Okay, which one you want buy? Okay, the Punch. Okay, now 15 around. Buy your newspaper, buy your newspaper, buy your newspaper. Ah, madam, which one you want? Oh, Daily Sun. I want 50 be that one. Madam, give me a look at. Give me a look at. Mala, you don't come. I want to look this. Ava, what did they? Upon everything we Belgium play. I just said that they will carry this cup. Now they don't go. Where did Belgium play? You don't see what you can go play? Who will look at? Where did happen?
It is when we don't see this country, yo.
Amen.
See, how will the parents of those kidnapped children go?
Hey, not true. These are certain things that I can't wish even my enemy. It is so sad. The security agencies in this country of ours should sit up. We can't even close our eyes to sleep at night. No. Oh, Jesus. In fact, this country don't tire me. Wow. Which one be that?
River State government set to lay a foundation for an ultra-modern convocation arena at the University of Port Harcourt. Journalists should just there and be printing rubbish. I'm sure they meant River State University.
How do you mean?
I mean, the River State government has no business in laying foundations for projects in a federal institution.
My sister, I think you get it wrong there. The big guy I know can even do more than that.
How?
I will tell you. I know of his antecedents as a minister of state for education. He has so much love and passion when it comes to the development of educational institutions.
Hey, you have started again with this politics.
My friend, not everything is politics. Facts are sacred. As Minister of Education, as Minister of State for Education, aside from the nationwide achievement of rehabilitating federal state universities, providing 3 trillion naira for different universities in the state, the government has done a lot of other things, but he never forgot his own people.
My sister, all in your head. It is true, I still remember it like yesterday. He never forgot his home as a minister. It was at that time that the Federal Polytechnic for Oil and Gas was established in Bonny.
You are correct.
Yes.
You are completely correct. You know, I also remember the construction of the Biological Science Building and the establishment of the Faculty of Law in the University of Port Harcourt. He even reached out to other state universities then. In fact, he even gave a special intervention fund to the National University.
Well, it's actually my sister. I don't remember the correct one. All the men and the women of River State, when I register for contractors, all of them is on benefit for the key project of the ministry.
And even as governor, he completed the Faculty of Humanities building. He even gave 200 million to furnish the Faculty of Law building.
This is wonderful.
Has he, man?
That means the foundation laying is true.
Yes.
If, as a federal minister, he was able to intervene in his own state, then as Dr. Quality Project.
Now, University of Port Harcourt must benefit of River State.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please can we put our hands together for them? May I now invite the Choba Women Group. Thank you so much. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I now invite the UNIPORT Performing Arts Company. invite Egelege Wrestling Group Choba. October. Thank you very much. Thank you. Your Excellency, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, with your leave, may I invite for the presentation of gifts on behalf of the University of Port Harcourt, the Pro-Chancellor, University of Port Harcourt, the Acting Vice-Chancellor, University of Port Harcourt, and the wife of the Acting Vice-Chancellor, University of Port Harcourt. Good day, sir. Go that way, they will give you a microphone. Yes. Please come to this side. Every other person should go on this side. Only sorry, please, you can't use this mic. This is my mic. They will give you a cordless mic. See cordless mic. May I also invite for the presentation of gifts, University of Port Harcourt Women Association. Go ahead, please. You're crowding my mic. I can't even...
His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State.
I don't understand. Nobody...
On behalf of the Council and Management of the University of Port Harcourt, this donation to you on this visit. Thank you.
Also for the presentation of gifts, the University of Port Harcourt Women Association, the University of Port Harcourt Students Union, and the Faculty of Law, University of Port Harcourt.
His Excellency, Chief Barrister Wike, we the women, University of Port Harcourt Women Association, like to welcome you specially. I want to say thank you for what you are doing and what you are still about to do for us. We are indeed grateful. And because we want you specially to do more, you know, when we thank someone, the person does more. We want to say thank you and want to honor you as University of Port Harcourt Women Association icon. Therefore, we regard you as opera icon. We would like to do the presentation, please. I think I told him to go and confirm. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point, may I invite, for the project description, the Special Advisor to the Governor on Special Projects, George Kelly D. Alabo.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Rivers State, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Rivers State, the Speaker, Rivers State House of Assembly, Your Excellency, I pray your leave to lean on protocols already well established by the compare. Your Excellency, we are here for the flag of the UNIPORT ultra-modern Convocation Arena. Your Excellency, what we have existing in this school currently is approximately a 2,000 capacity Convocation Arena, which is not big enough for the institution, given their size. What we are going to be doing here will be about 6 times bigger than that size, so that they can have their convocation and matriculation ceremonies done in one day, instead of doing it in bits in 5 or 6 days. Your Excellency, you expressed worries severally over the decrepit situation of the current Convocation Arena and gave directives to the Bureau for Special Projects to commence the procurement process for this project. This process was commenced last year, and it went through the procurement life cycle, and it gave birth to Chiron Ergon Limited, which emerged as the least most responsive bidder after a thorough procurement process. Your Excellency, this is going to be a 9,200 capacity convocation arena, about 6 times bigger than what they have now, and it's going to have a circumference of 960 meters, and a radius of 153 meters and a diameter of 306 meters. That's how large it is. It's going to have convertible compartments and spaces that can be converted to lecture rooms or assembly halls. It's going to have an assembly hall where members of Senate can converge before the convocation ceremonies and matriculation ceremonies. We're going to have offices, we're going to have conveniences in it, and then we're going to have it furnished. Then we also have for the external works 750 kVA transformer, 750 kVA generator sets. We have about 13,000 square meters of reinforced concrete asphalt pavement. That's approximately 2.1 kilometers with 2 kilometers internal drains spread across the project. The water will also be reticulated to other parts of the project, and we're also going to have interlocking paving stones and landscaping. This project has been scheduled for a completion time of 14 months, but we're going to fast track to ensure that the project is completed within schedule. It is also important to mention that the overall height of the project is approximately 25 meters high. That is from the natural ground level to the King Post high level. The three-dimensional perspective drawing you can see there does not properly capture what the rooftop will be like. At the crest of the roof, down to about 1.8 meters, we're going to be having skylight translucent glass sheets to be able to allow light passage, and then we're going to have some diffusers to be able to allow for aeration. All necessary design considerations have been made in terms of acoustic and lighting. And I can assure you that this structure will not only be aesthetically pleasing, it will also be structurally sound and stable, and will also have high degree of performance and optimal functionality. Thank you, and God bless.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to give a remark on behalf of the contractor, Kyrios Egon Limited, may I invite the Managing Director, Architect Osondo Aya.
His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, CON, GSS, RS, POS, Africa, I plead to stand on all existing and recognized protocol. Even as I give this remark, sir, it is with great humility and delight that we welcome His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Rivers State, Chief Nyesom Wike, and all other distinguished guests to today's Epoch Foundation laying ceremony of the Convocation arena of this great institution. There is a massive and unprecedented infrastructural development taking place in Rivers State today in a magnitude never seen before. This is courtesy of our dear Governor. University of Port Harcourt, since its inception in 1975, has contributed tremendously towards the educational development of Rivers State and Nigeria as a whole. It has produced many graduates who have served locally, national, and internationally, and His Excellency is such a person. Our governor has commissioned this landmark convocation arena as a contribution to this great institution of higher learning. We are extremely grateful, sir. We are also extremely grateful that our company, as an indigenous company, Kyrios Egon, has been selected after purification as the main contractor for this project. We are also aware that His Excellency has an extremely high demand for high quality and excellence in all that he does. Having been involved in numerous landmark projects in Port Harcourt and the rest of the nation, we give His Excellency full assurance that we will not let him down. We are fully committed to completing this project within the time frame of 15 months and at the expected quality without compromise. Once more, we thank His Excellency for the opportunity to be of service. May God bless His Excellency, may God bless Rivers State, may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to give a goodwill message, may I respectfully invite the Pro-Chancellor, Chairman Governing Council of the University of Port Harcourt, distinguished Senator Andrew Uchendu.
His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, Chief Nyeso Wike, CON. Let me stand on the existing protocol to make it fast. It is with very great pleasure and personal delight that I'm here today to represent the Council of the University of Port Harcourt in this epoch-making occasion. Let me commend the Rivers State government for this gesture. It is sincere. I wish all of us well. His Excellency, you, from the brief we have received, you are going to give us what they describe as the best of the Convocation arena, possibly seen anywhere around. Very commendable. I remember some years ago, many years ago, I attended one school called Hope Water Training Institution in Calabar. In that school, HWTI, Hope Water Training Institution, the students reconfigured it, the acronym to mean, here we train idiots. But at the University of Port Harcourt, here at the University of Port Harcourt, from all the available records, this is one institution where the best is produced by the best. And we cannot deserve anything less than the best of an arena for graduating our best. I congratulate you for giving us the best. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point, may I invite to give a remark the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Rivers State, Professor Kanie S.A. Ebeku.
Your Excellency Nyesom Wike, the Governor of Rivers State, Your Excellency the Deputy Governor, the Right Honorable Mr. Speaker, our distinguished guest of honor, former Vice Chancellor for University of Port Harcourt here present, colleagues of the University of Port Harcourt community, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, you are a distinguished alumnus of UNIPORT. And as a member of this community as well, I would like to welcome you in a dual capacity, firstly as the Honorable Commissioner for Education and as a member of this community. Your Excellency, all over the world, successful alumnus are sought after by the university and the alumni office to give back in some way what they have got from the institution. Personally, I received such invitations from my former institutions in Europe. Your Excellency, nobody in the alumni office here, to the best of my knowledge, has invited you to do this. But Swomotu, on your own initiative, you thought it wise to be here to do this, to give this gift. Yes, there are critical institutions and buildings every university must have, including faculty buildings, senior building. But the university Convocation arena, although not part of the BMAS, is obviously part of a critical building that a university should have. I am sure that many years ago, when you came here for your graduation ceremony, you didn't quite like what you saw. And you thought, given opportunity, you will make a change. Today, you have come to make that change. I want to thank you for that change that you are bringing here. Thank you so very much, Your Excellency, for this worthy contribution coming from a worthy alumnus of UNIPORT. I want to welcome you and your entourage to this university. Thank you so very much.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point, may I respectfully invite to give a speech the Governor of Rivers State, His Excellency Nyesom Wike, Commander of the Order of the Niger.
Please be seated. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor
our special guest of honor, the former Vice Chancellor, the man who initiated this project, Professor Lally. The Right Honorable the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Your Excellency, the former Governor of the State, Sir Celestin Ngozi Chim, Mayor, distinguished senators, former Deputy Governor, former Deputy Speaker, House of Reps, the Vice Chancellor, the Chairman Governing Council, Senator Andrew Ibodule Uchendu, the Chairman, River State Traditional Rulers Council, the primary ruler of Choba community, and members of the River State Traditional Rulers Council that are here, leaders of the state, chairman of our great party, students and management of this great university, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Let me, on behalf of the government and people of the state, most sincerely thank our special guest of honor for honoring our invitation to be here today to flag off the groundbreaking ceremony of this great project. I know that he was called some few days ago, and he obliged us to be here. Last time we invited him to flag off the new campus of the River State University, MOA. He was there to lay the foundation ceremony. Let me also not forget Professor Ajenka and Professor Don Baridon, who are former Vice Chancellors, but the particular Professor Ajenka, who worked with me when I was Minister of State Education. He was the Vice Chancellor of this university then, and we worked very, very closely. So many people have said, I'm an alumnus. So many people have said, I'm a great alumnus. And so many people have said, you have come home. Whether I'm an alumnus, whether I'm a great alumnus, what is important is home is home. And so I will agree to the fact that I have come home. But it's also important to know that it is this home that wanted to truncate my ambition as a governor of the state. I'll come to that later, because the Vice Chancellor had made a lot of requests. I will come back to that. I have always said that what is important in life, whatever opportunity you have, whatever privilege you have, you must make sure that you part meaningfully to the environment where you come from. Don't be in a position to destroy your community. Community in this sense, both university and the community you can say you were born. As far as I know, I appreciate and I thank this great university, and I'm very happy to have passed through this university. When I was Minister of State Education, I never knew Professor Ajenka then. It was when we were in a meeting, and then they announced the Vice Chancellor at the University of Port Harcourt. And then I sent for him. I said, "You are the Vice Chancellor?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Okay. I don't know the day I will leave here as minister. But while I'm here, I don't understand why we cannot have a faculty of law in a conventional university. a university that was established in 1975. And I asked him, are you sure that you really want to have faculty of law? And he said, yes. I said, okay, you will have faculty of law. Even though I don't preside over universities, I was the Minister of State Education. I preside over basic education. But because of my cooperation, my working together with my minister then, Professor Rukoyatu, and then the Executive Secretary of TETFON, and I requested that a special fund should be provided to establish the Faculty of Law. I'm happy that today we have the Faculty of Law in this university. I graduated from the Department of Political and Administrative Studies, the Faculty of Social Sciences. We are sharing the same place with the Faculty of Humanities. So the Faculty of Social Sciences had no building of their own. And I said it is important that such great faculty that produce eminent Nigerians, I'm sure the Vice Chancellor today may have passed through the Faculty of Social Sciences if I hear he's a professor in sociology, which means he must have passed through the Faculty of Social Sciences. We had great lecturers. Most of them may be late today. Professor Clarake, Professor Ikenna Zimire, Professor Joe, name them. Name them. And for such a faculty not to have its own building, something must be done. Today, by the grace of God, you have Faculty of Social Sciences. As a minister, I made sure you did animal and biological sciences. As a minister, today that building is there. As a governor, before I became a governor, the Lester Amadi building have been awarded. I came, that building was uncompleted, and I told the Vice Chancellor why someone like Lester Amadi, who has contributed so well to the growth of education, in fact, in the literary works or literary studies, there was no reason. And I made sure that that building was completed. Now, when I came here and I asked, where is the convocation area? Is it where we used to have it? He said, yes. I said, that cannot be. How many years ago? I remember in those days, we go to the convocation arena to have our seminars. When you are presenting your seminar, I remember Professor Olatunde Sijbi Ojo. I believe he's alive, but if he's late, may his soul rest in peace. If he's late, because I've not heard of him, but I believe he's alive. I know it was in that convocation arena where you sit and present your seminars. And also know it's the same seminar where you have so many people who come and put their hands on your head. Some people will fall. Some people will refuse to fall. I was one of those who never fell. And I was told that I said convocated. I said, no, that cannot be befitting of this kind of university. And I cannot be a governor without making contribution to building that convocation arena. I started with the former Vice Chancellor, Professor Lale, who is the special guest of honor. He did everything to make sure that we started the project while he was there. Of course, you know, government bureaucracy, due process, it took them almost 4 or 5 months before the Bureau of Public Procurement will agree design, and this and that. But what is important is that at the end of the day, to the glory of God, today we are laying the foundation of this convocation arena. Now the contractor has come here to extend the contract period by himself. Let me tell the contractor authority, we will refuse that. You will not go beyond the 14 months that you have signed with us, because the issue of funding is not a problem. It's not a problem. So please, don't give yourself additional hour, not to talk about additional 1 month. I will complete this project, commission it next year, and then prepare to live happily. Happily. Not living promises I've made to other people. I'm not going to leave one promise, one project to anybody. Any promise I've started, I must complete. And I'll hand it over before I go. Yesterday, we were in River State University, where we commissioned the Secretariat of the River State Students' Union. The River State Students' Union had never had a secretariat since it was established. But to the glory of God, that secretariat was commissioned yesterday to hand over to River students to have a place where they can sit, discuss about the welfare of River State students wherever they may be. Because I made a promise, and I thank God I've been able to fulfill that promise. But let me just say clearly, and to this university, and for us to know, as an alumni, my business is not to bring politics into the university. My business is to see how I can contribute to the development of my alma mater. It's unfortunate that what Nigeria has turned to today, the appointment of vice chancellors is now being made on who will be the one that will submit names of returning officers to conduct election. You see so many people struggling to be vice chancellors. If you put me as a vice chancellor, I can assure you, all those who will be returning officers in your state, I will make sure they are loyal to you. Let me warn. Not one person, not one would dare to rig election in River State. Not one person would dare it. I have told people, allow the university community to be university community, to produce those who will be leaders of this country. Don't turn the university community to be where you have politicians who begin to manipulate and change the mandate of the people. Anybody who does that, you know that it's a coup you have plotted. And you know the punishment for coup plotters. I want to say, I'm not afraid of anybody. I don't care whoever the person may be. I don't care. In those days, we used to see university lecturers are those who are our role models, who tell us what to do, what not to do. I used to remember, I don't know whether he's alive, Professor Inyaya Tank, in that department of sociology. Professor Krodudu, I hope that was your lecturer, and I hope you passed, he taught you class system. In those days, And when you see them, you would want to be lecturers like that. So unfortunate, some of us had to branch out and join these people. But actually, you want to be like them. But these days, you see a lecturer putting out his name, a PhD holder, a professor, to soil his name, to allow himself to be kidnapped, to put somewhere to sign results, to declare somebody who did not win an election. Look at the professor in Akwa Ibom State who has been jailed. Now he's applying for bail after conviction. You know, to get bail after conviction is very, very difficult. Not bail before conviction, bail after conviction. So whoever may be promising you, tell the person, I have a family. You, Vice Chancellor, you to go and be the returning officer. So that if you survive, I will join you. I will say it. There's nothing I cannot say. Nothing. Not in this country. Nothing. So, I just want to use the opportunity to advise you, leave the university to still keep its name and not to play politics. If you want to play politics with us, I will rub you mud. If you want to join us, openly come and join us. But if you want to hide under the university, because somebody said 2023 is not going to be like 2019, no. It's not going to be so. The more you look, the less you see. Because INEC knows that they have to be prepared in 2023. And that's why we will resist any attempt for anybody to manipulate the amendment of the Electoral Act to say election results will not be transmitted electronically. That will not happen. That will not happen. If you want the vote of the people to count, the result must be transmitted electronically. It must be. You don't want where you go and take somebody from University of Port Harcourt and go and carry soldiers and carry him and say, go and deliver. Deliver what? Deliver what? So, I'm happy. I'm taking this opportunity. I will still come back next year to commission it and finally say one thing again before I leave.
How many them day? How we not win them? How many them?
You know, the thing now is that the record we have set is difficult for people. People are angry every day. But you don't know, you don't need to be angry. If you know it, you know how to do it. If you didn't day, you didn't day.
As they see with us, we depend them. As we depend them, we see with us.
Since December last year, we have been commissioning and flagging off, commissioning and flagging off, commissioning and flagging off. And the way it is, we'll commission till May 29, 2023, when I will leave. So this is the first time you are seeing a government not resting, working every day, flagging one today, commission tomorrow. And we are doing it on national television. So that if I'm telling lies, the whole university is telling lies. You will tell me whether there's nothing going on here. So if I'm telling lie, the whole university is telling a lie. Vice Chancellor, you're also telling lie. Chairman Governing Council, you're also telling lie. So everybody is seeing it. That's why we say, seeing is what? Believing. This is not politics now. It's not politics. We were so many communities, so many villages. Saturday we came back from Opopo to give Opopo. Amanabo is still celebrating. He said in 150 years he couldn't drive by road. But thank God to him, last Saturday he drove by road. And he will still be driving by road. I told him don't go by sea again. No. Don't want anybody to see parents to go and do funny things. And that is what it's supposed to be. That is the essence of democracy. That's the essence of dividends. The people have elected you. You must do something. Those who are saying that this is a federal institution, they are wasting their time. Who are those who go to school here? Don't we have rivers people here? Don't we? Anywhere that the rivers interest, we must put rivers money there. And to talk about it, my own alma mater, if I leave tomorrow, then I will say I finished on University of Port Harcourt. So what? You finished, what happened? What was the impact in University of Port Harcourt? No impact. So I can go to university, I read law. So I the only one who read law. You were chairman of council, what did you do? Yes, I built hostel for them when I was chairman of council. You're the governor, what did you do? So many things. I established the medical college. I built management sciences, environmental sciences, built the auditorium for faculty of law. What would they want me to do again that I've not done? The lecturers are better paid than those in the University of Port Harcourt. But it's correct. It's correct. Most of you have been looking for how to transfer, but because the place is filled up, I say, hold on. Who doesn't want better service? The VC, don't apply, it won't take you. So, you know, in those days, when we used to have people like Professor Olaro to me, Professor Arabi Okafor, in theater as the department, UNIPORT was the university you want to attend. And that's what they said, unique. Those who didn't attend there, they are not happy. But I sincerely want to thank the students, thank the management for all you are doing. The university is very beautiful. Look at the trees. Getting very good environment. That's what is required. But please, the acting, whether you are acting or outgoing or you are incoming combined for you, please give the contractor the support that the contractor deserves to make sure they finish this project on time, and so that you will have to enjoy it. Not if you don't give them the support and I go, then you don't know who may be. He may not have attended this university. Like you said, oh, the primary school. You know, you people want to kill government. If the state government, before me started the primary school, what is it that you cannot finish that primary school? Must everything come from us? Assuming I started the foundation, you can't finish it. You have entirely generated revenue. How much? You cannot finish primary school. You want everything for government. Go and do that by yourself. We are doing billions of dollar projects. Even the one of 15 billion, you want us to do it. It shows that you are committed to the development of the university. So you are using the wives to say, our wife told me. Did your wife speak here? You want to use your wife because you know I'm friendly, I'm gender friendly. Why? Because of my wife who complete it for you people. So let me take this and invite the former Vice Chancellor, very, very reliable, very trustworthy former Vice Chancellor, our special guest of honor, who put enough pressure on me not to abandon this project even though he was leaving. And that was why I said, today, all the pressure you have put on me, come and lay the foundation so your name will be there, that you are the one who laid the foundation of this convocation because you started it. And if I'm also telling that you also told lies. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. His Excellency, our very own and very dear Governor of Rivers State, Chief Barrister Wike, CON, GSS ROS, POS Africa, may I request that this august community will kindly permit me to rest on a very well-established protocol to make the few comments before we flag off. I'm humbled. I'm quite humbled. Just like the governor has said, I gave him so much pains. I troubled him. I harassed him. But he bore with me when he made a promise that he was going to construct this convocation arena. And he made this promise at the time of the administration that was under my superintendence as the 8th Vice Chancellor of this university. And as he said, that is why he chose to ask me to flag off. University of Port Harcourt began to graduate students in 1981, precisely 40 years ago. During this period, convocation ceremonies, matriculation ceremonies have been held in very temporary structures, not befitting the very giant name of UNIPORT. And you will expect that in that 1981 set, that's where we had His Excellency, former President Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, and a few others in that set. It is therefore a great thing of joy for this community today that this momentous project, this momentous gathering is only in respect of the commencement of the construction of what will turn out to be, in my opinion, and I'm sure many others here will agree with me, one of the most iconic convocation facilities, not just in Nigeria, but across the West African sub-region. You've already listed by yourself the things you've done here, both during your tenure as the Honorable Minister of State for Education and indeed as the Governor of Rivers State. I'm not going to take so much time, but it's important for us to thank you so very sincerely and immensely for not just being an iconic alumnus, but you have a heart to add value to the institution, to add value to this state, and you're a man who says what you mean and who means what you say. Today is a fulfillment of that promise you made and the commitment you made. By the time I was leaving office, I wondered whether this would be one of those political things that politicians say and not do. But I can see that you're quite different. This is what I call good politics. You're creating public good. And I can tell you, sir, that no matter what happens, no matter what people say, history will be very kind to you. Sir, during the flagging of the 3 campuses of the Rivers State University, precisely at Ahoda, I got very cheering news from the person who did the flag off at that point, that he had made a promise, and I'm going to use my words very advisedly, to resettle former Vice Chancellors of Rivers State origin. And we have done you a letter already to thank you very sincerely for that promise. In fact, all three of us who did the flag off, we ensured that we'll be here today. You've seen us. You've seen Professor Jenka. You've seen Professor Dom Baredan, who actually did the opening prayer. And I'm sitting by you here, sir. One of the reasons why we did that is to make sure that you see us, and so that you remember the promise, to resettle us. And so, sir, because you are a great man who never says what it doesn't mean, we know, sir, that these promises will come to pass. And I'm sure that we will not need to do several travels to the government house for reminding. You are not that kind of person, and I'm sure about that. It remains now for me, sir, to most respectfully invite a very amiable governor of Rivers State and his very prestigious entourage to kindly join me here as we flag off the construction of the best convocation arena ever seen. Thank you, sir.
Project number one, and you say we get number one. You say we get number one, and Mr. Project number one, and you say we get number one. Yeah.
The national anthem.
Aizo.